Welcome to week 2 of Vacation Bible School here at Eternal Hope. Our theme again this year is Waiting on God, which is kind of a little bit of tongue-in-cheek. So take your tongue, so it's kind of a little bit of a joke because sometimes we feel that we're waiting on God because He's not doing anything, but God is always doing something. And in our story today, we're definitely going to go to a time in Israel's history and God's people's history where they really didn't think that maybe God was doing anything for them. And then we're going to learn about a specific guy named Daniel and what happens to him. But before we do that, let's start with prayer. So take your right hand and your left hand, put them together, and repeat after me. Dear God, thank you for hearing us when we pray. Amen. All right, so our lesson today is going to be about Daniel in the lion's den. Now we'll talk more about this during storytelling, Bible challenge, and basically throughout the entire time that we talk about it this week on these videos. But the thing about Daniel is he is taken from his home along with everybody else, and they are brought to the place called Babylon. Now, Babylon is not a place that was very nice to their face. So the book of Daniel gives us the men in the fiery furnace. It also has Daniel doing a lot of things to kind of help the kings, anger the kings, all this kind of stuff. But basically, God, through his prophets, told his people that they would be in exile. So exile means being taken out of one place and kind of held somewhere else, but you don't necessarily want to be there. So kind of like you all are watching this in your houses or your cars or wherever it is you are, instead of watching it here. So right now we're kind of in exile because I'd rather have you here as opposed to me talking to a mostly empty church. And I hope that you would rather be here with me than watching it on YouTube. So the people are in exile. But even though this seems like it's a very not good place to be, God works through Daniel and through his friends and works through them and for them, even in this time where they aren't able to worship him freely and really be with him the way they would like to be. So we are going to read from the book of Daniel. This comes from Daniel chapter 6, about Daniel in the lion's den. Daniel 6. Daniel was different. A good spirit was in him, and the king planned to set Daniel over the whole kingdom. So this is an outsider being put in charge of the whole kingdom. That is crazy. And the king planned to set Daniel over the whole kingdom. Then the other officials came to the king. They said, "O King Darius, live forever. The king should establish a law. Whoever prays to any god or man except to you, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions. Now, O king, sign the law, then it cannot be changed." Then King Darius signed the law. When Daniel knew that the law had been signed, he went to his house. He got down on his knees 3 times to pray, or 3 times a day. He prayed and gave thanks before his God, as he had done before. Then these men found Daniel praying before his God. They said, "Daniel is one of the exiles from Judah. He does not listen to you, O king. He prays 3 times a day." Then the king was very upset. He set his mind to deliver Daniel. These men said, "No, O king, that it is a law. What the king establishes cannot be changed." Then Daniel was brought and cast into the den of lions. The king declared to Daniel, "May your God, whom you serve continually, deliver you." A stone was brought and laid on the mouth of the den. The king sealed it. Then the king went to his palace. He spent the night fasting. Sleep fled from him. Then at break of day, the king went quickly to the den of lions. He cried out, "O Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God been able to deliver you?" Then Daniel said, "O king, live forever. My God sent his angel. He shut the lions' mouths. they have not harmed me." Then the king was very glad. He commanded that Daniel be taken out of the den. No kind of harm was found on him, because he had trusted in his God. Then those men who had said bad things about Daniel were cast into the den of lions. And before they reached the bottom of the den, the lions overpowered them. They broke all their bones in pieces. So Daniel, this is when he's older. He's brought to this land as a younger man, but he has been inserted into the palace. He has been given power. And even though he's not where he wants to be, and he's waiting for something different, he is put into a place where he can make some changes at the palace. Now, earlier in last week's opening, our friends were out in the Badlands. I talked to them because they went on more adventures. Let's check in on them and see where they went this time.
How's it going, guys?
Hi, Andy.
Hi, Andy.
It looks like you have done some more adventuring. It doesn't look like you're in the Badlands anymore. Where are you guys now?
We are in Mitchell, South Dakota at the Palace of delicious corn.
Wow, the Corn Palace. Well, that's kind of lucky, because in today's lessons we're actually talking about Daniel, who lived in the palace and who had all kinds of adventures. And the adventure we're especially going to talk about is Daniel in the lion's den. But again, I only see 1, 2, 3. Where's number 4? Did the sloth not catch up with you yet?
We don't know where they are. They haven't caught up with us yet.
Oh no, well, you guys, I guess you're just not very good at waiting. Well, what are you, planning on doing at the Corn Palace? Are you, gonna check stuff out? Are you gonna, what kind of things are you gonna do?
I better stop them, Andy, before they hurt themselves. They want to eat the corn.
Oh, that's the problem with buildings made of corn.
So that is a palace made of corn. And those silly animals wanted to eat it. That's not good for anyone, probably. But like that palace in Mitchell, South Dakota, God, through not necessarily good things, placed Daniel in the palace in Babylon so he could do good things, and so he could show God's power. So we have a Bible verse for today. So I will read that Bible verse, and our Bible verse comes from Romans chapter 12, verse 12. "Rejoice in hope, be patient in tribulation, be constant in prayer." So even though Daniel was not in the place that he wanted to be, he was not amongst his people, he was in a place that did not trust in God the same as the place that he had come, he still trusted in prayer. And we're going to talk a lot about prayer in the Bible Challenge, in our songs, and even in our craft this week. Because prayer is kind of the theme, and it's also part of our take-home point. So let's get very dramatic. So, while we wait, God hears us. So let's do that together. God hears us. Let's do it all together. While we wait, God hears us. Enjoy the videos for this week.